Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us at tonight's post-match press conference following Austin FC's 2-1 win over the Seattle Sounders. We're joined by Austin FC head coach Nico Estévez. You guys all know the drill. We'll limit ourselves to 2 questions per person on the first go-around and come back around as we have more time. Eric, I saw your hand up first, so if you wouldn't mind passing this to Eric.
Thank you. Hey, Nico. Obviously, the goals that are scored late are all different and they come from different situations, but how important is it and how great is it for your team to have these happen to the point where they now believe when it gets late in a close match that a goal could come at any moment?
Well, I think throughout the season we've tried to build that belief, and then I think those goals that we've scored late in the game against Kansas, starting with against Kansas and then against Minnesota, I think, and we talk about Minnesota because when we play there in the league game, late in the game, in that game we had 2 clear chances, one with Mirto and one with Hader. And then we talk about always that even when knowing that Seattle was coming here, that late in the game, in the heat, it is always difficult, and then that we can take advantage of those moments. And we have just to keep going until the final whistle because it's worth it. And right now we're in this moment where we're having that part of luck, but also that part of belief that give us the composure and the poise in those late minutes to be very clean in our crossing, in our final actions.
And then you mentioned the heat, the unique start time tonight. And also this match went through a lot of different phases. It looked like different matches, at different points at time. How intentional was early in the first half? Was it an intentional choice to sit back, let Seattle have the ball while the sun was at its highest, or how did you manage the heat throughout the match?
Well, I think one of the things is we knew they're a very good team building from the back, from the goalkeeper, and we didn't have our legs completely rested and ready to go in this game. This is why we didn't high press most of the time, and we just let them build, and from mid block, kind of mid block, low block, build pressure, and then make them make mistakes. I think the thing that we did, we weren't good in the first half. It was with the ball. I think if we were able to have longer possessions, it was a game where you need to work a lot this game because they're a really good team. It's not like you're going to do 5, 6 passes and then you're going to open them and you're going to create a chance. You need 20 passes, just move the ball one side to the other, just spread them, and then is when you can start finding those spaces to do it. And we weren't good on that. This is why we had to defend more than we wanted. But I think in the second half, also that maybe early goal that we conceded, it helped us to have more control, and I think Seattle dropped a little bit and gave us more the ball, and it helped us to grow the game and make them tired, and then at the end of the game we could have a couple good transitions that we didn't decide well, and a couple good good chances, one header from CJ, and then the goal.
Pass it wherever you want. Colby?
I guess what's how much confidence is CJ playing with? Right, I know Mirto had the goal, but his kind of diving header to get it back in front of the goal. How much confidence is CJ playing with right now?
I think with a lot of confidence. I think he feels really good. He feels like he can make an impact in the game, and he's doing it. I think he's just not thinking too much, just going and execute what his role is. And is helping us a lot on being a player where we can help. He can help the team to win games.
And just how big was Brad tonight? I mean, there were a couple saves where he's kind of standing on his head there.
Yeah, I think the whole team. I think the back line was really, really good. They work really, really hard. I think the midfield line and the forward line worked really hard. And I think Brad, obviously. He's giving us a lot of these nights, and I think it's something that it's great for us to have him and seeing him performing at that level.
Congrats on the win, Coach. The decision to play with a back five tonight, was that more about defending like what Seattle were trying to do, or do you feel like this formation kind of gets the best out of your team?
Yeah, Seattle, their formation attacking is building with 3-2-5, and then they have a lot of players forward. We felt like with the fatigue that we had after the game against Minnesota, we needed a back five in order to shift. The shifting wasn't as big as with four. And this is why we decided that. We knew also that some moments we're not going to be able to build pressure, and against Seattle, either you are able to build pressure and not let them play comfortable, or if they're going to find moments to play comfortable, you better have good defensive shape and a good distribution into that shape. And I think it worked pretty well. I think the first half we didn't allow them to create much. It was just some set pieces, but not much. In the second half, I think we felt a little bit the fatigue and start opening a little bit more the field, and they also made some substitutions that helped them to grow in the game, and we had to battle and fight until we could be our moment.
Hey, thank you. And then this match against a team like the caliber of Seattle, do you feel like this was a good test of where your team stands as we get closer to the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it's still time. I think it's important for us to get as much points as possible until the end of the season. That what we want is to secure the playoff spot and clinch it. After Minnesota, you saw like they had one less day to recover, but they had issues yesterday. Nashville also lost at the end, and it's difficult to come back from that excitement night that you have. Either if you win or you lose, like the emotional part that you put there is huge. And when a team is able to compete back-to-back games at that level, I think that is the most difficult part of the sport. How you can, after a big performance, you can make another big performance. And although it's the first time that I think, if I'm not wrong, that Austin FC wins Seattle at home in the history. It could be also that belief that we have in the players have in the what we are doing. You can see in the way that they believe until the end.
Hi, Nico. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Guys, looking back a month ago with the Houston game, you guys had conceded that goal and eventually tied 2-2. How important do you think that game was, and other games where maybe your team conceded and was never able to get back into it for a night like this where you guys conceded early but still pulled off the win?
Throughout the season, all those experiences are important, and it's how you learn. As we always said, humans learn based on experiences, and then sometimes those experiences hurt you. But in order that it don't happen again, you push yourself and you put you in a better position that these things don't happen. I prefer also to have won that game, but it's what it is, and now we are in a position to attack and clinch the playoff, and we have a lot of things also ahead, and we just focus on RSL and use this win as a momentum that we can keep going and keep doing good things.
And with CJ's form right now, kind of what do you think makes him possibly a better super sub than as a starter, or what do you think is missing for him to become that next starter on the front line?
I don't think about that. I think he has a role right now, and he's executing his role. And then I think when if he has a different role, he will try to execute in the best way. Right now, his role is coming late and helping the team to win. And I think he's doing a really good job and has embraced that role really well. And we're very happy to have him and seeing him contributing for the club.
Hey, Nico, congrats on the win. So 30 seconds into the second half, they score an equalizer, and about 15 minutes after that, they bring in Morris and Ferreira. And just kind of wondering what your mindset is at that point, because that, the combination of those things look pretty, kind of bleak in a way. It's a big challenge. And just, did that change your kind of sub patterns at all, or anything that you approached in that phase of the game?
I mean, look at how deep the roster is, because they had the Club World Cup, and they could add like $1 million in GAM to make a stronger roster. They have really good players that didn't play today that are coming from injuries, like Pedro de la Vega. They have Kent also that didn't play. Bringing from the bench Morris and Ferreira, it says a lot about how good roster they have. And, we can't forget that they're the Leagues Cup champion, and they beat really good teams in that competition. They compete really well in the Club World Cup, and for us, it's just collectively trying to do the best that we can do.
And then Dessler comes off with injury. Any kind of prognosis about like what that is? And be nice to have him in 10 days. So just kind of curious about what you know so far.
I think he's dealing with an issue there. The testing and everything, it doesn't show any injury. It's more like he has discomfort, and it gets tight, and it doesn't allow him to keep going. And then we're gonna try to do different things in order to have him ready for next games.
Profe, buenas noches. ¿Qué significan estos 3 puntos considerando que tiene las rotaciones, que cuidar al equipo para la final en 2 semanas y para asegurar playoffs?
Bueno, yo lo que pienso es que hay que afrontar cada partido como una final, afrontar cada situación que nos da la temporada como lo más importante, y ahora mismo lo más importante es Real Salt Lake, y queremos preparar un equipo que salga con convicción y que pueda tener un performance muy bueno y una actuación muy buena para conseguir lo máximo, ¿no? De allí. 3 puntos, un empate, cualquier cosa que nos dé puntos puede ser algo muy, muy importante para nosotros.
Gracias. Usted como entrenador, ¿qué es lo que le dice a CJ antes de entrar a los partidos, que entra tan motivado y que es tan influyente en los últimos minutos?
Bueno, yo lo que creo es que es su naturaleza, no tenemos que decirle mucho, porque él es una persona que vive el fútbol con esa energía, ¿no? Entonces sabemos que cuando él trae esa energía la contagia a todo el grupo, y que es muy importante para nosotros.
Anyone else have further questions? We can go Eric, then Phil.
Nico, should Brad Stuver be getting consideration for the U.S. men's national team, especially with their camp coming up here in Austin?
Well, I think every American player that I have should be in a consideration, and of course, I mean, he's doing a really good job so far this season, and I have already to make very difficult decisions on the roster, on the lineup. I'll let Mauricio and these guys have these difficult decisions to make, but as much players, American players push and do well, the better for the national team.
And then finally, with the Real Salt Lake match is obviously, those 3 points are as important as any, but it's 3 days before an opportunity to raise the first trophy in club history. How do you approach those 2 matches so close together? And does 3 points tonight maybe give you more breathing room to focus a little bit more on U.S. Open Cup rather than fighting for squeezing into the playoffs?
I don't know yet. I need to rest a little bit. It has been very, very tough week. But we'll think about the next couple of days how we can make the best out of these 2 games. 3 games, because San Luis also, it's important at home.
Yeah. So in terms of using the back 5, is that something that you see as just kind of situational against certain teams, or is that something that you're now getting comfortable with, and this might be kind of the look going forward?
Well, I think against Minnesota was a game plan we already did against them. We saw other teams that did it after us. Even Chicago did yesterday, and it was successful for them. Against Seattle, it was also game plan based, analyzing them and knowing how we got hurt when we play there, and also building that momentum on keeping that formation, making easy also for the players. Real Salt Lake has a different type of approach, and then we have to first analyze what could be the best. And Nashville the same, you know, it's a team that are different, and they do different things, and we will try to put the best team to compete in those games.
Colby?
Was Biru, how's he doing? Did you just give him a night off? Was it?
Yeah, he's dealing with some inflammation in the knee, and we want to make sure that he can recover well.
And then I guess the last one, just I mean, how fortunate is the club to have Gallagher, where you know you can kind of plug and play him, you know, 6 or 7 different spots. I guess speak to the luxury of having John Gallagher, where you can play him, you know, when Mikel goes off with an injury, you know, 35 minutes in the game, you can bring him on, you know, at right back, he can play left back, you know, almost anywhere on the field.
I think it's important. I think it's important to have him. It's important his versatility and the whole positions that he can play, because he always helps the team, and also it benefits him because he's playing a lot this year because he's able to play in different roles.
All right. Seems like that's all the questions we have. We can wrap it there. Thank you very much, Nico. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.